Okay, guys. Today's subject. Whew, when I say today's subject is touch deprivation. Y'all, the statistics are insane. Hold on, let me just invite my girl in. Sister.
Hey, sister.
Hey, sister.
I love this.
Me too.
Can't wait for the conversation.
Girl, the statistics are crazy. The
Yeah.
statistics are crazy. Marcy's here also.
If Marcy approves, then
Marcy's in the chat. In it, girl. Look at the way she's looking at me like, move the camera from me. Marcy's in the chat. She saw me sitting up. She was like, what are you lot talking about today? What's good?
So what are we talking about today, sister?
Today we are talking about touch deprivation. I am going to give some statistics and then we are going to start the conversation.
Alrighty, sis.
All right, my darlings. So according to the stats, Mars, can I get the book? Marceline. You know I'm fighting with the cat for the something. Mars. Marcy, listen, get yourself a pet. At the end of the day, this is going to be my overall advice. But listen, the statistics right now is that we need 4 hugs a day just to survive. We need 8 hugs a day just to maintain ourselves. And we need 12 hugs a day just to grow. And the statistics are that girls, especially girls of color, aged 5 years and over, are only getting 1 hug per day on average.
Wow. I mean, who is getting those stats? Like, who is actually getting all those hugs? I want in.
Girl, I mean, 12 hugs a day just to grow. That means that our growth is being stunted. And I think the reason why both of us have picked this subject is because it's cuffing season, it's cuddle buddy season. And there is never more of a season that comes in when we feel that we need a hug. We need to be touched. We need big spoon, little spoon. We just feel like we need these things, and that's all we need. We're not necessarily needing anything else other than that. But because of the way that things are designed, sometimes just to get a hug can lead to other things. And not only do I want to discuss why that is, but I also want to discuss the root of it. Like, how did we get here?
How?
Girl, what do you want to start by saying?
Honestly, this is such a good topic to talk about because it's linked to our basic functioning as humans. And the fact that we don't have this connection, physical connection, to be able to function properly, and especially the stats for people of color, Black women, Black people, it's really sad, and it explains. It can explain a lot, I feel, and it just shows that we're not all on the same level, or like we're not all starting from the same spot, and without having those basic needs, what's the word, provided. We're starting with being all the way backward. Met. And so we're starting from far, and we have to do like even more effort. So putting more energy into the norm, like getting to the normal functioning space to be able to move and grow and actually, yeah, function properly. I don't know, sister. What are your thoughts?
So basically, the lack of touch can lead to an underdevelopment of the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is related to stress and our cortisol levels. So
Mm,
people who are touch deprived are more likely to be stressed out. They're more likely to be highly strung. They're more likely to be overweight because of
yeah.
the lack of touch. And like, I'm gonna just talk, all I can do is talk on my experience. So I've been single for years, and last year I broke my ankle, as you know, sis, and
Yeah.
I was in the bed for 7, 8 weeks in the cast. And because of my touch deprivation, I turned to food, and I ate in particularly donuts.
Mm,
Stodgy, doughy foods are a good indication that you're not getting touched enough, that you're not getting enough hugs, that you're not getting the intimacy that you need just to grow. This is not a requirement out of, vanity or anything else. This is a requirement to survive. This is a requirement to maintain and to grow in order for us to be touched. And when we're not touched, we likely move on to other things. I particularly choose food. There was a time, though, when I truly believed that sex equaled love. So if I was having sex with somebody, that meant that they loved me and I loved them. I never had the idea that I was having casual sex with just anybody. It was always about love,
yeah.
only to find out that sex doesn't mean love at all. So all of this time, I was continuously tapping into sexual behavior because I was touch deprived. And I think that is so common in especially today's society, with the level of promiscuity, with the hooking up culture, with the situationship culture. A lot of people are just hooking up just so that they can get some type of touch, some type of intimacy. What are you saying, sis?
I agree with you, sister. Today is it's simple to hide it because some people, I feel like people, or like in general, just, yeah, people are not really self-aware. And so when you're not able to spot why you're doing what you're doing, or when you're not able to describe what you're doing when you do it, um you can easily hide behind those behavior to try and get in bed with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and not even know that actually it's the touching that is missing in the equation of your everyday functioning. And so the culture of also selfish and using it selfishness and using each other for whatever reason, I guess it helped this behavior of people just using each other to, I want to say men, I'm not gonna lie, like not to stigmatize men, but I feel like it's more accepted in the society for men to go in this direction to get in bed with a woman and not have any strings attached to anything. It's like, yeah, we just here now and then we don't know each other anymore, or there's nothing. afterwards. And I feel like deeply what they're looking for is the affection, is the touch, is the intimacy, it's the, the natural, oh hey, the natural, it's natural. Like we need each other. It's just we're supposed to live
Do you
together.
think? Do you think it's so? So
Tell
what you're
me.
trying to say is like, do you think that men find it more difficult to ask for hugs and touch than females do?
I think so. I think in the constitution of our growing or our becoming, as women, we are more allowed to embrace our emotion very early, and men not. So men always been, I get this, that's my hypothesis, always been adjusting, because emotion, even if you're a man and people are saying to you, don't feel, don't be scared, don't feel sad, it's still there. It's just the person will
Mm,
adjust and sometimes make it, camouflage it, or hide it. And so as humans, we know how to adapt. So if we are not allowed to go in a direction that is very natural in our body, and then we can't really have a control on it, we will find a way to mask it. So I
mm,
feel like men have grow up with this masking of their emotions, so they're not really in touch with it because they've been taught to not feel, basically. And I think that, not to bypass any behavior from them that is not really cool as adults, but I feel like they hide maybe behind the hooking up culture and the fact that it's more accepted for men to just want to be with somebody just to have sex or to be intimate for a night, or just very punctually. And so I think this is the main reason behind it. It's just they hide behind this, just, I don't know, girl. I have a hard time finding my words, but I'm gonna let you continue if you get where I'm trying to go.
I definitely hear what you're trying to say, Mama. And so this is what I know. I don't know about men because I'm not a man. I get that there's the culture where they absolutely have been groomed and brought up not to feel, not to be in touch with their emotions. But I feel like touch is something completely different in terms of our emotions, because I feel like even my guy friends, they're quite tactile. You know, you're talking to your friend and you touch your arm, or do you know what I mean? And you nudge and there's touch. I think that men are more likely to shy away from physical touch when it comes to, just casually, because they are afraid of being accused of being inappropriate, being sexual,
Mm,
being abusive. Whereas women, we are much more, I feel, likely to hold hands or to link arms or to hug each
yeah.
other. We even kiss each other without any type of in, inappropriateness, if that makes sense.
Mm,
But it's funny how these statistics here, especially pertaining to children of color, but I want to take it one step further, and I want to say women who grew up in environments where the parents were very active in
mm,
terms of, they worked a lot. I want to also include women who grew up in poverty. I want to also include those who were, they didn't have any siblings, so only children. I want to include these groups. I just don't want it to be this just like, oh, it's one set of people. So that just to make it a little bit more inclusive. But I definitely feel like with and generational as well, because I feel like my generation, the only time our parents really touched us, so to speak, was either to hug us goodnight. We didn't really get a hug in the morning. It was hug us goodnight or to spank us, to beat us.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
right. So touch became an act of violence. Sometimes you'd be, I know that I've been in situations where somebody's gone to hug me and I've kind of ducked because I thought they were going to smack me.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I feel like this is also something that is not talked about enough in the communities that in which we live. We're not we don't talk about intimacy. Nobody really understands what intimacy actually is, and
yeah.
so this also adds to touch deprivation, because I know that one of the most intimate times I've ever had with a man was when I was with somebody and he used to wash my hair and retwist my locks for me. That
Mm,
was top tier intimacy for me. That was,
mm,
and it was never sexual. It was never, even though we were in a thing together, it never led to sex. Because sometimes I feel like women, especially, we can be avoidant of touch because we don't necessarily want it to lead to sex.